Stop comparing, start living. I grew up in a small town where everyone seemed to be racing toward something greater. At school, I always felt invisible. My classmates wore the latest shoes, carried expensive phones, and spoke of vacations in places I had only seen in magazines. Every time I looked at them, I felt smaller, weaker, and less worthy. There was a boy named Daniel. He was tall, confident, and always stood in the center of every crowd. Teachers praised him, girls admired him, and his smile made it seem as if the world itself had chosen him. I wanted to be him so badly that I started to forget who I really was. Every night I scrolled through social media, comparing my plain life with the glittering stories of others. Each photo reminded me of what I wasn't. Slowly, I built a prison in my mind where I was never enough. One winter morning, I sat by the window of my small room, holding my phone tightly. I had failed another test, while Daniel was being celebrated for winning a scholarship abroad. I felt crushed. My chest grew heavy, and for the first time I whispered, "Why was I even born if I can't shine like them?" Those words terrified me. I knew something had to change. Life began to shift when I met Mrs. Carter, an old librarian who noticed me sitting quietly in the corner of the library every afternoon. One day she asked, "Why do you always look at people as if you owe them your worth?" Her question pierced me. I had no answer. She smiled gently and told me a story about her youth. She was once a singer, full of dreams, but she had wasted years comparing her voice to others. By the time she realized her uniqueness, many doors had closed. Yet she told me, "I still sing to myself, and in those moments I am free. If you don't stop comparing, life will pass, and you'll never meet the person you were meant to become." Those words haunted me for weeks. One night, I decided to write down everything I loved about myself, no matter how small. I wrote, I listen deeply to people. I draw quietly. I notice the beauty in small things. At first it felt silly, but as the list grew, something shifted inside me. I began to see myself not as a shadow of others, but as a flame that had its own light. The real test came when Daniel returned from abroad for a short break. Everyone gathered to celebrate him, and for a moment, jealousy tried to creep back into my heart. But instead of shrinking, I chose to talk to him. We sat together, and he confessed something I had never expected. "I always envied how peaceful you seemed, how you could sit alone without needing the crowd." I never had that. I was stunned. The very thing I thought made me weak was something he admired. That night I realized every soul carries a secret burden. We compare our scars with others' smiles, not knowing they hide their own battles. From then on, I made a promise I would walk my own path. I stopped checking social media endlessly. I limited my comparisons. I poured myself into what I loved: drawing, storytelling, and listening. Slowly, opportunities opened. My quiet art began to get noticed online. People connected with my words and sketches because they were real, because they were me. I was no longer chasing someone else's shadow. I was finally standing in my own light. Years passed, and I built a life not by trying to become Daniel, but by becoming myself. I traveled, not to show the world pictures, but to see the world with my own eyes. I worked hard, not for applause, but because discipline made me proud of who I was becoming. And when people asked me the secret, I told them, stop comparing, start living. The only person you need to beat is the one you were yesterday. One evening, standing before a group of students in London, I shared my journey. I told them about the years I wasted comparing, the pain it caused, and the freedom I found when I accepted my own path. Many of them cried because they saw themselves in my story. In that moment, I realized this was bigger than me. My scars had become lanterns for others. The truth is, life is unfair sometimes. Some people will have more, look better, shine brighter. But that doesn't erase your worth. You are not meant to be a copy of anyone else. A rose does not envy a sunflower. The ocean does not compare itself to the sky. Each has its beauty, each its role, so do you. And if today you feel small, remember this. The stars you admire from far away are burning with their own light. But so are you. Stop looking at the galaxies around you. Start noticing the fire inside. Your life begins the moment you stop comparing and start living.